पुरुषों के मुकाबले चल रहे हैं।
India in a commanding position on day one of the Rajkot Test. Prithvi slams 100 on debut. Cheteshwar Pujara and Virat Kohli's half centuries help India end the day at 364 for the loss of 4 wickets. Prithvi Shaw makes history, becomes the youngest Indian to score a Test century on debut, slams 134 to now enjoy the record of scoring 100 in Test, Ranji and Duleep Trophy. Indian men lose to Armenia in the 43rd Chess Olympiad, women held by Italy. Grandmaster Krishna Sasikaran loses a critical match to put podium hopes in danger. Barcelona superstar Lionel Messi at his mesmerizing best as he inspires a four-goal masterclass to rock Tottenham Hotspur at Wembley in the UEFA Champions League. Win held Spanish club gets 2 wins in 2 matches while Spurs draw blank after 2 games. And Napoli's Lorenzo strikes in the end to break Liverpool hearts in the UEFA Champions League. Napoli wins the outing to top the group with 4 points, while Liverpool take the second spot with 3. Good evening, welcome to Sports News. Yeah, I'm Arnold Thomas. Those were the headlines, and now let's get into the stories in detail. Starting first up with the Test series between India and West Indies. Opener Prithvi Shaw scored a historic 100 in his debut match as India ended day one of the first test against the West Indies at 364 for the loss of 4 wickets at the Saurashtra Cricket Association Stadium in Rajkot on Thursday evening. The 18-year-old Mumbai lad showed no signs of nerves in his first match as he slammed a 134-run knock that comprised 19 boundaries. Riding on his maiden ton, Shaw became the youngest Indian to score a century on his debut. After winning the toss, Indian captain Virat Kohli opted to bat first in good batting conditions. The team got off to a poor start, losing KL Rahul in the very first over for a duck. After Rahul's departure, Shaw and Cheteshwar stitched a mammoth 206-run partnership for the second wicket, taking India to a commanding position. Pujara was out after scoring 86 and he looked all set for a 16-test run but got out playing a casual shot against debutant Sherman Lewis. Shaw stitched a 23-run partnership with skipper Virat Kohli but was caught and bowled of Devendra Bishu just before tea. In the final session of the day, with skipper Virat Kohli and his deputy Ajinkya Rahane stitched together another 105-run stand for the 4th wicket. The final wicket to fall for the Windies came in the form of vice-captain Ajinkya Rahane, who got out after scoring 41. Virat Kohli was unbeaten there at the end of the day's play. Virat Kohli unbeaten there at the end of the day's play, along with Rishabh Pant giving him company. Virat Kohli unbeaten on 72. The West Indies bowlers had a tough day as they could only manage 4 wickets on day one of the first Test match. Well, teenager Prithvi Shaw became the youngest Indian to make a century on his Test debut on day one of the first Test against West Indies in Rajkot. The opener is also the 4th youngest player of all time to hit a debut ton and the second youngest Indian to make a Test century after Sachin Tendulkar. He eventually fell for 134, caught and bowled by Devendra Bishu. Let's take a look.
Young Prithvi Shaw walking out.
All eyes were on the 18-year-old Prithvi Shaw when he came out to bat against the West Indies at the Saurashtra Cricket Association Stadium in Rajkot. And yes, he delivered in style. Teenager Prithvi Shaw becoming the youngest Indian to score a century on debut in the first Test against the West Indies at Rajkot on Thursday. Even as Shaw is the 15th Indian in the list of all Test debut hundreds by Indians, he is the youngest of them all. Aged just 18 years and 329 days, Shaw showed immense flair, maturity and fearlessness to notch up the 100. Not facing one of the best attacks in the world, the West Indies bowling looking toothless for most of the time. But the 18-year-old Shaw gave ample evidence of his brilliance with effortless boundaries and confident strokes all round the ground. Sachin Tendulkar remains the youngest ever Indian batsman to reach the three-figure mark in the longest format of the game. He scored a ton at the age of 17 years and 112 days, and Prithvi Shaw has slammed his maiden ton at the age of 18 years and 329 days. Shaw's maiden century came of 99 balls with a double of Chemo Paul. He showed no jittery nerves and didn't look like he was under pressure while batting in his 90s. He also tried to go for a risky double, only to be turned down by his partner Cheteshwar Pujara. With a century at Rajkot, Shaw refreshed the memories of his Ranji Trophy debut, where he scored a ton at the same venue in 2016-17 season. Later, he went on to hit a century on his Duleep Trophy debut as well, but failed to emulate Tendulkar as he missed a ton on his Irani Cup debut. Although Shaw leapfrogged the Master Blaster by scoring a century on his Test debut. Sports Desk, DD News.
What a day for this young man. Hands up. 15.
What a knock there in the middle. You know, that particular run that he took when he went from 99 to 100, he'll remember it for a very long time. And a big 100 against his name. Another Indian there scoring on debut, his first Test innings there, and getting a 3-digit mark against his name in with a big knocker of 134. Well, to get a perspective of what actually went right for Team India and where did Windies go wrong on day one of this particular Test series, joining us in the studios is Rakesh Rao this evening. Rakesh, good evening. Welcome to the show. Rakesh, looking at the way things went about, if you look at Prithvi Shaw, the manner in which he was expected to come good, but do you feel that he sealed that opener slot there? Looking at, I would look at this as the prelims and, the big test, the tour to Australia. Do you feel that this particular knock will help him seal that berth?
See, he has actually helped his cause a great deal already. Okay. Because number one, he was preferred ahead of Mayank Agarwal. Now Mayank had scored heavily in the last season in all, whether it was a 4-day, 5-day format, whether it was a 50 over or even 20 overs. So he had to come good, and he seized that opportunity with both hands. And of course, he was so fortunate because the kind of attack which he faced, where the bowlers were bowling up to him, and each time you pitch the ball up to a batsman who's so good at driving it straight, he was driving it past square, he was doing it, he was doing everything right. And luckily for him, the kind of field placements which we saw right through, imagine a debutant coming in, you need to attack him, and he is a guy who's expected to be facing the nerves. He'll feel, he's expected to feel a little out of sorts. But the West Indian captaincy there was poor, and the bowling was all over, and he made the most of it. Now, having said how ordinary the attack was, but give credit to him. 18 years old, and just imagine, he loses his opening partner very early. Then you have somebody like Cheteshwar Pujara, who is known to be a slow starter. But there was a phase when out of the first 25 runs, he had scored 23. And at that time, I remember, Cheteshwar Pujara had taken 12 deliveries to score 1 run. Now, for that time, Cheteshwar looked like a debutant. And, this guy was looking as though he could do anything, and he couldn't do anything wrong. Okay. Now, that's the kind of confidence he walked in with. And then he just made it count. He just made it big. And that is that is what is a sign of a great, a great batsman in the making. Now, his batting, his batting temperament comes from a typical, that Maharashtra school of batting, particularly the way you put a price tag on your wicket.
True.
This is exactly what it did. He made it count. Even after scoring 100, he didn't go slam bang. He, steadied himself, took some time between 100 and 105, 110, resettled, and then of course he was looking for a bigger one. Now, that is where you give it to an opener. As a temperament goes or whatever, he is right up there.
Having the way West Indies went about in this particular game, did you feel that the stand-in captain Craig Brathwaite, somewhere missed the plot? The length and the feel that he put in, at least till lunch, looked like, he seemed to be clueless about, he being handed the captain's band and, not knowing what to do in the middle. Did you get the feeling like that?
See, they have absolutely no idea that these, these Indian wickets, you have to ensure that you don't give that drivable length at all. That is where Indians are so good at. You have to make them play, yes, but then at the same time, you have to mix it up well. Here what we saw was invariably all the bowlers, they were pitching the ball up and giving, the new batsman or the one who's already settled the time to get behind it and, stroke it so well. They didn't have to go slam bang at all. That's why you don't see sixes here. In the entire innings, you see good number of, balls which was sent across the ropes, and they were all beautifully hit. That is why I'm saying that here you needed to ensure that you don't give the batsman the opportunity to get the big strokes in. You have to cramp them, but that is something which the West Indians never did throughout these, the entire day, session after session.
We're looking at that big test in Australia, and what we saw on day one of that particular Rajkot wicket, is there anything, any bite in that particular wicket, or any lesson that we can learn that that we could look as a positive when we go down under?
None whatsoever, because here the conditions are completely different. Australia is going to be a different ball game, but it is good that a debutant can take a lot of confidence from here, but there are no gains of playing on wickets like this here, because there everything is going to be different. The bounce is going to be different. Where you pitch the ball, the good length itself changes a bit. It is at least half a yard earlier. You have to put the ball a little shorter, because that is where the ball is going to do something, and that is what the Australian bowlers are likely to do there, because they are masters at it. Here, Rajkot track was a placid one, and this is exactly what you do. Had India lost the toss, we would have seen probably West Indies getting in excess of 250 with, say, 6 wickets down.
Okay. A word on Cheteshwar Pujara. Cheteshwar Pujara also trying to get back into that groove, playing in front of his home fans, I would say, Saurashtra cricket ground. Getting an 86, missing out on 100, but then this particular knock, will that do him a world of good? Regaining the confidence?
Not really. See, he's one guy who's making batting look so difficult.
Okay.
That is his biggest problem. He is solid. He looks as though he's not going to get out, but he doesn't inspire any confidence into any of those people who are going to come in next. Okay. So that is where Cheteshwar Pujara has to play a little, some more strokes. He cannot be just, shutting the door and say, no, I'm going to wait for all the loose balls and stuff like that. He needs to look like a specialist batsman, which he doesn't.
Okay, one word on the way in which, the West Indies bowled, we've had a look. But looking at our team composition, do you feel leaving out Shardul there was a surprise, or you expected very much?
You look at these wickets, Indians have always gone with all-rounders who can spin the ball a bit. So that is why you have, Ashwin is, Ashwin is there, Jadeja is there, and of course Kuldeep these days is a regular. So what we are seeing here is Indians are going with 3 spinners. All 3 are of a different variety here, and going in with two bowlers who can bowl a bit fast. That's about it. So what we are looking at is India's main tool is going to be spin. And I think out of the 20 wickets, I won't be surprised if we get about 60 to 70% wickets only through spin in the 4th innings especially.
Okay, we'll slip into a short breather. Here's still lots more to talk on Champions League, but on the other side of the short break. Stay tuned.
मैं नहीं मानता कि तंबाकू जानलेवा है। मैं नहीं मानता कि तंबाकू जानलेवा है। मैं नहीं मानता तंबाकू जानलेवा है।
चाहे हम कुछ भी कहें, कुछ लोग हमारा संदेश नहीं सुनते।
मैं नहीं मानता।
तंबाकू जानलेवा है। ये चेतावनी हर पैक पर है। इसे पढ़िए और इस पर विश्वास कीजिए।
ये है सद्भाव मंडप, भारत सरकार के अल्पसंख्यक मंत्रालय का शिक्षा, कौशल विकास, खेल, सामाजिक कार्यक्रमों, स्वास्थ्य सेवाओं का केंद्र, भारत की सांस्कृतिक सामाजिक विरासत को मजबूत करने का मिशन।
किसी वृद्ध को सिर्फ साथ रखना काफी नहीं है।
4th and 5th
फर्क है जब दिवाली मन नहीं सिर्फ मकान मनाता है, होली सिर्फ चेहरा रंग जाती है। जब अपने फर्क करते हैं तो उम्र
every
और
night I
तेजी से
sit through
ढलती
11. I mean,
इस
from
फर्क को
4:30 to
पहचानिए।
11. I do my cricket match in the morning till
हर
4:30.
वृद्ध जन
विजय
को
हजारे
चाहिए
ट्रॉफी.
आपका साथ, आपकी सेवा और आपका समय। सामाजिक न्याय और अधिकारिता मंत्रालय, भारत सरकार द्वारा जनहित में जारी।
ये है सद्भाव मंडप, भारत सरकार के अल्पसंख्यक मंत्रालय का शिक्षा, कौशल विकास, खेल, सामाजिक कार्यक्रमों, स्वास्थ्य सेवाओं का केंद्र, भारत की सांस्कृतिक सामाजिक विरासत को मजबूत करने का मिशन।
मंजिल आपकी, सबका साथ, सबका विकास।
ए मक्खी, मेरी पतंगे तेरी खास हो गई। दे दे, नहीं तो क्या, नहीं तो मैं अपने बड़े भाई को बुला के लाऊंगा, वो तुझे छोड़ेगा नहीं। हाँ, बुला ले, मैं भी किसी से डरता नहीं हूँ, मैं खुद अपना बड़ा भाई हूँ।
5 से 9 साल के बच्चे हर हफ्ते ले आयरन की सिर्फ एक गुलाबी गोली। ये खून में आयरन की मात्रा बढ़ाए, अंदर से बाहर तक एकदम सॉलिड बनाए। सरकारी स्कूलों और आंगनबाड़ी केंद्रों में निःशुल्क उपलब्ध। एनीमिया मुक्त भारत।
India's men's team's medal chance took a hit as Grandmaster Krishna Shashikaran lost a crucial match which resulted in India's men's team's shock defeat at the hands of 8th-seeded Armenia in the 9th round of the 43rd Chess Olympiad. Shashikaran was the key to India's success till this round, but he ran out of steam on a day when two main players, Vishwanathan Anand and Pri Harikrishna, signed peace early. It turned out to be a bad day from India's perspective overall as the women's team played out a draw with lower-ranked Italian women. Tanya Sachdev, who had started with 5 victories in her first 5 games, crashed to her second defeat in a row, and the victory by D. Harika on the second board could only prove to be a leveler once Koneru Hampi and Padmini Raut were held to draws by lower-ranked opponents. With 13 points in the kitty and 2 rounds to go, the Indian men's team now need a miracle to reach the podium, a feat they achieved in 2014 in the absence of two best players, Vishwanathan Anand and Hari Krishna. In the last edition, the Indian men had finished 4th with Hari Krishna in the team. Well, Delhi Dabang are a team that has always shown plenty of promise throughout their tenure in the Pro Kabaddi League. And now, going into the upcoming season, some of the new faces will give them an added impetus and could strike a balance with their more experienced teammates. Here's more.
A perennial underperformer in the Pro Kabaddi League, Dabang Delhi will attempt to reverse the narrative come season 6. To ensure a strong backline, the franchisee has brought in a few good defenders for the tournament.
पहले 3 सीजन में इसी में रहा और काफी अच्छा लगा था खेल के, लेकिन उस टाइम हमारी टीम इतनी बेटर नहीं थी जितनी इस बार है। 6ठा सीजन आ गया, 5 सीजन से सबसे बेहतरीन टीम है इस बार हमारी।
Vishal Mane, a veteran of 83 matches, will ply his trade for the side this season and will be expected to lead the defensive lineup alongside captain Joginder Narwal, who has an impressive tackle success rate of 47% in 38 matches.
मैं हमेशा पॉजिटिव थिंकिंग पे यकीन करता हूँ और जैसे हम लोग ने फिटनेस की है और स्ट्रेटेजी और मैच पे प्रैक्टिस की है तो ज्यादा से ज्यादा कैसे मैच जीते यही हम लोग यकीन कर रहे हैं। और जो नए प्लेयर्स है और अनुभवी प्लेयर्स है तो उनकी जो मिली हुई जो रणनीति है तो अभी आगे जाके मैच पे दिखेगी।
The 30-year-old Iranian Mehraj Sheikh, an expert raider and defender, will have to lead the attack alongside Shabir Bapu, Pavan Kumar and Ranjit Chandran, a raider from Tamil Nadu who has bought for 61 lakhs. The team, which has never reached the playoff in the Pro Kabaddi League history, looks well balanced this time, at least on paper.
हमारा ये कैंप 2 महीने पहले लगे हैं। हमारा जो प्रोसेस है 6 महीने से चल रहा है और बहुत ही उम्दा टाइप की हमारी तैयारी है और बहुत ही अच्छी तैयारी के साथ हम अब की बार सेशन 6 में उतर रहे हैं। ये तो आने वाला समय ही बताएगा कि किस पायदान पर रहेंगे, किस पायदान में नहीं रहेंगे, परंतु मैं आपको विश्वास, यकीन और भरोसा दिलाता हूँ हम बहुत अच्छी परफॉर्मेंस देने जा रहे हैं।
The squad that Dabang Delhi have put together is full of players that mirror the franchise's current state. The Delhi outfit is desperate to end the streak of league stage exit. Similarly, the leading stars in the current side have a task on their hands to regain their elite status in the league after a below-par campaign in the past. However, the team's new head coach Krishna Kumar Huda, who has a wealth of experience having coached the Indian team in the past, would be keen to introduce the youngsters in the side to balance the defense.
इस बार जो दिल्ली का टीम है उसमें राइडर भी मतलब 8-9 राइडर का आसपास है और डिफेंडर भी बराबर का है, तो मुझे ये रहा इस बार इतना ज्यादा प्रेशर लेके क्यों खेलना वो ठीक नहीं है करके, क्योंकि इतना राइडर हमारे पास है और डिफेंडर भी इतना ही है। इस बार हम ज्यादा फिटनेस के ऊपर ध्यान दे रहे हैं, क्योंकि पहले सीजन का इतना पता नहीं क्या है, मतलब उसका तो पहले सीजन में इधर हूँ तो मुझे इतना ये नहीं है। हम ज्यादा से ज्यादा 3 महीने का टूर्नामेंट चल रहा है तो फिटनेस तो बिल्कुल चाहिए, हेल्थी रहना चाहिए, तो इंजरी फ्री सीजन रहना चाहिए, तो वो रहेगा तो सीजन सबका अच्छा होगा।
Delhi certainly have a strong squad to cope with the rigors of the league, but the fitness and form of their senior players who have a point to prove will be key.
पहले कबड्डी को कोई गेम को नहीं जानता, कोई किसी प्लेयर को नहीं जानता था, तब से गेम शुरू है, पैसा नाम सब कुछ बड़ा है और आगे भी वो बढ़ता रहेगा, मेहनत करेंगे और नाम करेंगे अपना।
Dabang Delhi were lucky to have a large chunk of their squad available for the 2 training camps they had ahead of the season. The first camp that was held near Dehradun enabled the players to pump up their fitness levels thanks to training in higher altitudes where oxygen levels are relatively low. Apart from fitness building exercise, Delhi had a rehabilitation training program, a first in the Pro Kabaddi League so far. With the kind of experience and ability the side has in defense, teams will find it difficult to find a chink in particular area of the defensive formation. This gives the opposition raiders a huge headache and the Delhi team a huge advantage before the teams even take the mat. Tapan Bhattacharya's report, DD News, Delhi.
Well, can Delhi turn it around? That's the big question. In the last season, Delhi had finished last in that group. This time around, they've got a new look outfit. And maybe, let's keep our fingers crossed, this time around, a transformation from the Delhi unit. Well, time for a final breather here. Lots more lined up from the Champions League. Stay tuned.
दीदी, 5वें महीने में भी ये फुर्ती? मेरी हिम्मत तो तीसरे महीने में।
कमी हिम्मत में नहीं, खून में हो सकती है। आज
खून में?
बच्चे और तुझ पर कहीं बुरा असर ना हो, आज ही जांच करा ले।
गर्भावस्था में अक्सर अनीमिया यानी खून में आयरन की कमी हो सकती है। अनीमिया से बचाव के लिए हर गर्भवती महिला को गर्भ के 4थे महीने से बच्चे के 6 महीने के होने तक रोज आयरन की लाल गोली पौष्टिक आहार के 1 घंटे बाद लेनी चाहिए। ये गोलियां सरकारी स्वास्थ्य केंद्र, ANM और आशा दीदी के पास मुफ्त मिलती है।
ये देखो दीदी, एकदम फिट।
अरे वाह।
आयरन है खास, करे शरीर और दिमाग का विकास। आओ बनाए अनीमिया मुक्त भारत।
चाचा, एक कुर्ता पैजामा सिलाना है।
तुम्हारा नाप तो है ही।
आपने अभी तक इन्हें अपनी छोटी सी दुकान में ही बिठा के रखा हुआ है। अल्पसंख्यक मंत्रालय की एक स्कीम है जिसमें आपके हुनर को अच्छे तरीके से तराश कर आपको इस काबिल बनाया जाता है कि आप इस तरक्की की दौड़ का हिस्सा बने और जरूरत के मुताबिक आपको भरपूर आर्थिक मदद भी मिलती है।
ये सब मुमकिन हुआ है भारत सरकार के अल्पसंख्यक मंत्रालय की गरीब नवाज कौशल विकास और सीखो कमाओ जैसी तरक्की की हमसफर योजनाओं से। आप भी हिस्सा बनिए। एम्पावरमेंट विदाउट अपीसमेंट।
मैं नहीं मानता कि तंबाकू जानलेवा है। मैं नहीं मानता कि तंबाकू जानलेवा है। मैं नहीं मानता तंबाकू जानलेवा है।
चाहे हम कुछ भी कहें, कुछ लोग हमारा संदेश नहीं सुनते।
मैं नहीं मानता।
तंबाकू जानलेवा है, ये चेतावनी हर पैक पर है। इसे पढ़िए और इस पर विश्वास कीजिए।
नमस्कार नमस्कार नमस्कार। क्या भैया?
सेप्टिक टैंक शौचालय के लिए।
सेप्टिक टैंक, ये जब भर जाएगा तो कचरा कहाँ फेंकोगे? फिर से लोटा यात्रा शुरू। सुनिए, 2 गड्ढों वाले शौचालय के बारे में सुना है? नहीं सुना? आइए समझाते हैं। देखिए, 2 गड्ढा बनाइए। पहले वाला जब मल से भर जाएगा ना तो ये चालू हो जाएगा और साल भर के अंदर इसके अंदर जो मल है ये खाद बन जाएगा। इसे खाली कर दीजिए। इसी तरह शौचालय जो है वो आजीवन चलता रहे, न बीमारी फैलेगी न बदबू।
और पैसे?
अरे वो सेप्टिक टैंक से कई गुना सस्ता। हाँ, क्या समझे?
शौचालय 2 गड्ढों वाला ही बनवाना है
और स्वच्छता को सदा अपनाना है।
Welcome back onto football, where Barcelona have returned to winning ways thanks to a 4-2 victory over Tottenham Hotspur in the Champions League on Wednesday night at Wembley. Barcelona haven't won in 3 league games but took the lead in the second minute with a Hugo Lloris misjudgment, allowing Jordi Alba to tee up with Felipe Coutinho. Ivan Rakitic hit a stunning second after 28 minutes, slashing on a shot from an off-the-post shot at the very top of the bounce. After Lionel Messi had hit the post twice following a pair of darting runs, Harry Kane pulled one back 7 minutes into the second half, but a superb goal from Messi following an incisive 1-2 rapidly restored that 2-goal margin. In the end, English clubs having a nightmare of outing there, as Spurs getting humbled at home while Liverpool losing away in Italy. Meanwhile, Liverpool have fallen to a 1-0 defeat at the hands of Napoli in the Champions League Group C clash at the Stadio San Paolo on Wednesday night. It was a deserved win for the home side and one which blows Group C wide open, with Napoli moving top with 4 points, one ahead of Paris Saint-Germain and Liverpool on 3 apiece. It is only Napoli's third win in their past 10 Champions League matches, but they deserve the all 3 points, I beg your pardon. Liverpool looked disjointed from the off and lacked fluidity in the attack as well as muscle in the midfield. A quick word on what's wrong with English clubs in the Champions League. They seem to be disjointed at home. You know, Spurs disjointed at home. Liverpool look lost in Italy.
See, Liverpool, I mean, I was really surprised to see there, you know, I mean, up front they struggled right through. They didn't have one shot at the goal. I mean, this was, I think, after 2006, we've never had a piece of stats like that.
Okay.
That they never had a shot at the goal in 90 minutes of play. And they again, you know, they're actually looking for somebody who can be sharp up front. Sarah is, you know, like if you just look at their, you know, up front you have those 3 strikers who've all been struggling. Sturridge is the one who's trying to get in now, but he's not. I mean, I don't know why Klopp is not showing any confidence in him.
Okay.
Because see, if you just recall, last time also he came in the 85th minute
and scored
that equalizer
against Chelsea.
Yeah, and here again, you know, like you see that when he's seeing that the strikers up front are not doing what they're expected to do, midfield is under so much of stress. I expected Klopp to do a lot different, but then unfortunately he didn't. And you know, like at the end of it, he summed it up beautifully. He said we didn't deserve to win, and I think he was spot on.
Okay, maybe let's hope that it's not complacency setting in there for Liverpool, because they look pretty solid at the beginning of the season. Let's hope that form continues and they take it to the end of the season. Thank you and appreciate you joining us this evening, Rakesh. A pleasure having you here in the studios. Well, that's all we have time for in this edition of Sports News. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye. Take care.